All right, everybody. I don't know what the hell this is, but I have some jokes. Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski tested positive for COVID-19 and missed their Sunday playoff game, their first playoff game since 2002. In fact, it was their first playoff win since the Browns were the original Browns before they became the Ravens. Back then, Bill Belichick was the coach, and they beat the Patriots. Firing Bill Belichick is the worst decision the Browns organization has made since naming their team after the color of poop. You might be wondering how a coach on a team that gets tested every single day, 9 months into a global pandemic, can test positive for COVID-19. It might be because, and hear me out on this, it might be because the NFL seems to have designed specific masks for NFL coaches that are worse than any masks I've ever seen in my entire life. The NFL has taken their most susceptible group, these old, overweight white dudes, and attempted to protect them with what amounts to maxi pads and eye patches. There was a controversial punt in this game. Mike Tomlin chose to punt from the 46-yard line. It was 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter. His team was down 2 scores. This is a historically bad punt. In fact, this is the most conservative decision made by a black leader since Ben Carson came out in support of Confederate statues. The Seahawks lost improbably to the Los Angeles Rams. It was improbable because in Week 16, the Seahawks injured Jared Goff. He ended up missing Week 17, and John Wolford got his second career start in the playoffs against the Seahawks. The Seahawks proceeded to hospitalize John Wolford in the first quarter, and Goff came in, injured thumb and all, and beat the Seahawks. But Goff doesn't deserve a lot of credit. He didn't have an incredible game. The game ended, fittingly, on a Rams sack of Russell Wilson, which isn't completely surprising, because Russell Wilson is worse at choosing which receiver to throw to than my wife is at choosing where she wants to eat dinner. The Philadelphia Eagles fired Doug Peterson after 5 seasons. The firing comes after Peterson led the Eagles to their only Super Bowl in franchise history. But of course, Peterson's legacy is going to be attached very heavily to his quarterback decision-making. The team let Nick Foles walk and stuck with Carson Wentz. They built a statue to Nick Foles and ended up benching Wentz this year for Jalen Hurts. And then in Week 17, they benched Jalen Hurts for Nate Sudfeld, who the hell knows who Nate Sudfeld is. Of course, it's not surprising because Doug Peterson is worse at choosing quarterbacks than my wife is at Oh, fuck, I already did that joke. Frank Gore hasn't decided if he's going to retire yet. Frank Gore is 37 years old. In NFL running back terms, that makes him 125 years old. Frank Gore said that he's going to have to take some time in Miami with his family, with his children. Unfortunately, Frank Gore, I'm a little worried because dementia might be setting in at your old age. I think those might be your grandchildren. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers squeaked past the Washington football team, the 6-10 Washington football team. Tom Brady threw for 381 yards, making the Washington football team the only people offering less resistance to former Patriots than the Capitol Police. The Chicago Bears and New Orleans Saints game was broadcast on Nickelodeon. And that may seem weird, but it makes perfect sense to me. Sure, the NFL is controversial, but when I was growing up, if I wanted to see something with violence and overt racism, I had to settle for Speedy Gonzalez.